Hello and welcome back to the Singles Society. This is the podcast that looks at singles life through a much more positive lens, the lens that it really deserves. Now, this episode that you've landed on today is actually the third in a 7-part series, which is exploring well-being when it comes to dating, but also more specifically singles nights. So as well as hosting this podcast, I also run singles nights in lots of different cities across the UK. If that is something you're interested in finding out more about, then I will link you to those different events in the description of this podcast. So feel free to go and take a look if that's something you're interested in. There's 2 episodes out already exploring this theme of well-being. So when you've listened to this one, by all means, do go back and have a listen to those first couple as well. The early ones were looking at very early stages around dating. So the first one was thinking about, is this something I'm really ready for? Do I want to put myself out there and start dating again? And the second one was, if you do decide that you are ready and you want to make that decision, then finding people who are going to build your confidence and make sure it's a really positive experience for you. So this third one today, I'm going to be thinking a bit more specifically about singles nights. This element of it doesn't apply quite as easily to dating because I'm going to be thinking about the things that I can do to help protect your well-being at the events that I run. And unfortunately, I can't be there on every date. So this is more for those of you who are considering coming to a singles night. Now, I'm still even looking at the stages before the event, which I know might seem crazy. In the next episodes, we are going to think more about well-being on the nights themselves and then how you look after yourself afterwards. But so much of the initial groundwork is prior to coming to an event and making sure it's something that you feel really comfortable with and ready for. As a host, obviously, my hope and wish is that you find that right person for you and that you have that life partner that you want. But on a more fundamental level, the thing that I have to make sure of is that everybody feels safe in the space and that your well-being is being protected. So if there are things that would help you feel more comfortable in the space, feel at your best, please do feel free to get in touch beforehand. As I said, I'm going to pop the links to the event descriptions in the description of this podcast, but I will also put my email there as well, which is my.singles.society@gmail.com. As I say, you can copy it over from the description. It's quite normal for people to get in touch with me before a singles night with questions or if you need any adjustments. So please don't worry about doing that. One of the small things that people often get in touch about, perhaps a little bit tangentially to well-being, but still very important, is the age brackets of the events that I run. So every event will have a different age bracket, just to make sure it's kind of as easy as possible to meet the right person for you. Now, I do say in the event descriptions, if you come, 1 or 2 years either side of that age bracket, and you feel for whatever reason like it's still very much the right event for you, please do feel free to get in touch with me and check beforehand. I would ask that you check first, just because it really helps me to manage numbers, manage the event, make sure that the right mix of people are there on the night. But that is one thing you may want to get in touch about. It is, as I say, also quite common for people to get in touch and just be very honest and say, I'm quite nervous about this. And that is completely understandable. It's a really brave and beautiful thing to do, to put yourself out there, to be open to finding love, and to keep making that choice to show up as well. I know that dating can start to feel quite tiring. There are a number of different things that we can do to hopefully help you feel more relaxed. So one of the things that I will often offer is, if you want to get to the venue a little bit early to settle into the space, first of all, and meet your event host, you're very welcome to do so. Most of the events that I run tend to start at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So sometimes people will just get there sort of 10-15 minutes early, but it just means you see the space beforehand. So that's one of the initial barriers, because it's not just meeting new people, it's potentially going to, a bar or a restaurant that you've never been to before. So it just gives you that opportunity to get settled. You know where everything is, you know where the bathrooms are, you know where the bar is. You just feel a bit more settled and relaxed in the space. And you can meet the person hosting the event, who is going to be there to look after you throughout the night. So there'll be at least one host at the event. Normally there's two. Normally there's two people there to look after you, but there will be at least one person there. And their role is to make sure that you feel as relaxed and comfortable at the events as possible. They're not taking part in the event themselves, just to sort of have that boundary clear, but they are there to make sure that you can make the most of the night. So you get to know them a little bit. Feel free, absolutely, to just let them know if you are feeling nervous as well, and they can do any extra checks that you might need on the night just to make sure that you're feeling okay and comfortable in the space. Now, the venues that we work with, there will almost always be a quieter area that you can go to. Absolute worst case scenario, there will be the bathroom area and the space just outside of the venue that you can go to if you do just want a moment's quiet or a little bit of fresh air to take a step out. Generally speaking, there will be another room that you can go to if you feel like you need that. So please do feel free to put those boundaries in place for yourself, but also, as I say, get in touch beforehand and communicate what your needs are. I can't promise that we'll be able to make, absolutely every single adjustment, but we will always do our best, and I will be honest with you about what it is that we're able to accommodate on the night. It is really important for me that everybody feels safe and that your well-being is protected. So I would so much rather that you got in touch and that you asked for something than you didn't do that. So there's lots of different things we can do. We can make those adjustments. You can come early, meet the host, whatever it might be. So the next episodes, we're going to be exploring a little bit more what it then looks like at the event, which is perhaps in some ways the most important bit, because we're going on to explore what well-being looks like in the space itself. So if you haven't already, please do follow and subscribe, and I will be back tomorrow with the next in this 7-part series all about well-being at Singles Nights.